Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone is having a blessed day so far. If you are joining me this morning, if you could just say hello and let me know where you're joining from, that would be awesome. My poor camera, it took a fall last night, but I think we're okay. Good morning. Good morning. I know it sounds bad, but it's a gorgeous day today. And so I don't think I invited anyone to this live, but if you are here, I am grateful for you. Thank you. If you are new, my name is Royce Hunt Bell from Roycycled Treasures, and we meet every Monday and we're playing a game. Our goal is to stretch ourselves creatively. And so I'll be picking out 4 random activities that I have to do on my piece today, and we'll be creating. I'm sorry, I'm just double checking and making sure everything is working. Whoops. I'm causing problems for myself. Okay, so the mixed media mashup game, you guys. This is the game. Oh, wait, I'll do it here. This is the game. Good morning, Flea. How are you? Are you feeling better today, Flea? I hope so. And you can get this game if you don't have it. I did send it out to the Recycled Insiders this past week. And I think I have a link. I'll share my QR code later. So if you guys want to play along on Mondays, you can. And you'll get a game that looks a lot like this. These here on the top go on the tops of your, I'm using tongue depressors for the game. So these go on the top of your tongue depressor. So I'll use this one. So this one on the top, it just says what you're going to be using. So stamps, collage, stencils, DIY, right? That goes on the top. And then under each one, you have multiple challenges. So in my can, I have 3 of these challenges specifically for stamps. And there are 2 pages, and you can just include the challenges that you want. Like if you don't own any stamps, then don't include that in yours. And so I have a can and it's full of sticks, and I have to, I'm going to mix these around, go into my can and pull out 4 themes. And the goal is to challenge myself to create outside of what I would normally do, right? Sometimes we get stuck in a loop of doing the same thing over and over again. And this is a way to kind of push ourselves to try something new, possibly even if it's the same old things that we've been using, but maybe a new combination, right? And oh, good. I'm glad you're feeling better. So I'm going to pull. So what I pulled out today, you guys. So if you don't have the mashup game, let me know. And I will put a QR code up so you guys can find your copy of your game if you want to play along, or if you want to do it by yourself. Maybe you want to do it later when you're not with me. If you're like a retailer, or maybe you're teaching workshops in your shop, this is a really fun game for you to include for your people who come to your shop to create, right? Because you can challenge them. So I have prepped here, just as this a sign that I found at the thrift store. It's a metal sign. And I did go ahead and just do a layer of primer over the middle. And I legitimately don't know what I'm going to do. Prime over the words that were there already, because I know we're not going to use that. And the 2 papers I pulled out today, I pulled out the Roycycled in paper, decoupage paper. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I like to at least have a substrate, right? And then decoupage paper. And I also pulled out the photography masterboard decoupage paper as well. And so these are the 2 papers I pulled out to work with today. And so we'll see what we end up with. I don't know. It's kind of scary doing it live, you guys, because You know how you watch like Flea Market Flip or one of those shows and you're thinking, oh, I would have just done this. Well, it's easy for us to say what we're going to do and we're just watching. We're not the ones that are walking around having to come up with the ideas, right? Good morning, Karen. So I digress. So I'm going to pull my sticks. I'm closing my eyes. You guys can see me. I'm going to pull out 4. Although one of my ladies from my membership was like, I think we're supposed to do 5. 1, 2, 3. I'm pulling from different parts of the can too. So hopefully I don't pull out 2 of the same color. If I pull, oh Lord, I literally pulled out, okay, just 2 of the same. Those aren't the same. So I'm going to replace this one because it's the same. Is this collage? Yeah. Oh, no, they're not the same. Oh, I used the same color. I didn't realize I did that one. This one's for collage and this one is decoupage. So that's nice. I did not pull off the same one. Good job, Grace. Good morning, Chris. I'm off to a good start. So, interesting. So my first one is underpainting and it says metallic. So I'm going to have to use a metallic paint for my underpainting, which is going to be interesting because I'm not using a light paper today, but we'll see what happens. And the second one is stencil, and it says to stencil under your decoupage paper. Oh man, I'm going to have to change my paper choice, I think. Collage is mark making, and that can be anything, so that's fine. And then decoupage paper with a stencil. Okay, you guys, give me a few minutes while I gather my thoughts because I'm going to have to do something completely different. I mean, I didn't have a secure plan. Good morning, Vance. How are you? Hey, Joni, how are you this morning? Hey, Carmen from North Virginia. Drum roll, right? I'm shaking in my boots. Hey, Anna. I am going to have to rethink what I was going to do completely, utterly and completely. So let's find a recycled stencil. I may have to run in the house, y'all. We're going to see. Because I think that if I use one of my spring papers from last year and I use the small cloche from the recycled stencil, oh, actually, that will be perfect. Okay, let me see if I can find the stencil. Can you guys hear me okay, or do I need to wear a mic? Let me know. Ooh, what if I do that one? I'm going to pull that stencil out. Maybe that stencil. Oh, the apothecary one might be fun. Okay, so I need to come up with a plan. It's not even close to Halloween yet, but you guys, this stencil just didn't sell well, and I was so excited about this. I'll have to make some more projects with that one. I don't know if that one's going to work for today. If I use my paper doll, I'll have to change the orientation of my sign to go this way, but this could be fun to make like a paper doll, especially because we're going to be, let me see. So I'm using decoupage paper with a stencil, right? And then I have the stencil under my decoupage paper. So this would make sense to be able to use her. And we could just, she would just go this way instead of, and then a metallic under this, under my paper. I think this one's gonna make the most sense for the directions that we have. But now I have to figure out, ooh, the end papers will be fun with her though, right? I don't know about the underpainting with the metallic. I'll pick a light design maybe, so we could see the metallic underneath. But the end papers, we have all these different patterns. So actually this would be really fun to dress. I hadn't thought about this in this context, but we can dress our paper doll using the patterns on this paper. Good morning, Deborah. How are you? Are you loving this one? Oh, I feel tortured over here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm feeling a little tortured. I think this would be nice. I'm thinking I would like for her bottom, just because it's like a cage, to be a little metallic. Let me think for a second. So maybe if I use this one, is this one big enough for her cage? I think it is. Looks a little cagey, right? And then we can use, and I think I'll use this one for the cage. And then for the top, this green would be pretty, this one. And so her body is really small. So rather than use something, like honestly, I think my favorite paper on this one is this one. But if I use this one, the scale of the design would be too big. So for her body, because it is so small, I'm looking at the designs that have more of kind of a smaller repeat on them. This one would be nice, but that would be a lot of brown. I think this green would brighten it up a little bit. What do you guys think? We're going to go full granny core today. That's what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to dress her using the recycled end paper decoupage paper. So what are we going to do with the background? And one of these ladies on the photography master board has wings. I might steal her wings. Well, no, that's not the right. Well, this one maybe. I might steal her wings for my paper doll. Or maybe we give her a cage. The scale is a little off, but I think I can maneuver it a little bit. I'll just start her cage a little lower, which actually works because then we can keep her hand there. Okay, so we're going to go full on paper doll mode today. I'm going to cut her out, and then we're going to add this cage to her. And then I think it would be fun to give her this crown too. That's what we're going to do. So let me make sure I'm following my own rules. So I'm using a stencil. So I'm pairing decoupage paper with the stencil. So specifically what this means is that I need to use the stencil with the decoupage paper to do a cutout of some kind. So we're going to do a cage, but we're actually going to use decoupage paper in conjunction with the cage to make her cage. And then stencil under your decoupage paper. I still have to figure that one out. Collage and mark making, we're going to have plenty of that. And then we'll paint metallic under the cage. to kind of make it look more metallic-y. So I think I'm ready to go. I'm going to start by fussy cutting her out. Am I going to use her? I think that she's probably going to be the most appropriate for the cage. I just love this dog right here. Okay. Let me go ahead and we'll fussy cut her out first. I say fussy cut, but I'm really not going to go in super tight yet. I just want to cut her off so I can lay everything out and see it before I make final decisions. And I will say that I probably would have never thought of this had I not challenged myself with this game. So we're going to be doing something completely different than I've certainly ever done, which is the purpose, right, of doing this exercise. So we're going to use her. And again, this is the Photography Masterboard decoupage paper. I love this paper so much. We have all of our ladies. Well, there's a couple of gentlemen too, and a dog. But there's so much yumminess on here to use like in your art journals. And then for the end paper, we said we're going to use the black one for the cage, right? This one will be beautiful, but it's just it's too big. The scale of the design is just too big. I think this one's going to be perfect. I thought I could get my paper in my coffee. And I'm just trimming this off, you guys. You guys aren't missing anything. It's hard for me to be in the camera with the paper is so big. So that's why I'm going to trim everything down so we're together. Paint and stencil. Is that what you have today? Oh, is anybody else playing along? I would love to hear what you guys drew if you guys are playing along this morning. Okay. So we're going to use this to make our cage. There's a label kind of right in the middle here, which I don't hate, but it'd be nice if I could be a little bit more strategic about where it landed. And I don't know if I have, I'll use my makeup brush for a stencil brush today because I don't think I have. Oh, wait. One of my favorite things to use with the stencils are beauty blenders. So I do have a beauty blender here. So I'm going to use this and I am going to go over my decoupage paper with the stencil. And then I'm going to cut the paper out. And we're going to use that as a cage. So we're like literally going full on paper doll today, which is fun. Good morning, Lynn. Was I jumping out of my box, Chris? Oh my gosh. And I haven't played with this stencil for a really long time, so I'm actually super excited. This stencil came about, I miss having Lexi as my creative director, but we would have these like creative sessions, you guys, and it would be like fireworks between the two of us, you know, coming up with ideas and kind of building off of each other. And this stencil was one of those brain explosions that came out of that, one of our sessions. Okay, so and I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm just going to swirl that ink. And I am using ILD ink for this, but you can use any kind of ink that will set, so a permanent ink. Because we're going to be decoupaging this and we want to make sure that we're not going to be dealing with ink that's going to smear all over the place, right? I don't know why I'm doing this on the sign. I'm making more work for myself. I should have just done it on the table. Good morning, Tammy. Is anybody else playing with me today? Are you guys pulling out popsicle sticks and working? I'm curious. Whenever I use the stencil, I have to laugh at myself because it always looks like I haven't done anything. But then when I lift up the stencil, the lines are like super clear. It's just our perception. And I'm going up and down on this one instead of swirling because I don't want my, I want to keep my lines straight. Although I think I moved this a couple now. We'll see what happens. And when I did this stencil, one of the things that I fight with my stencil makers about is that I don't like for my lines to look like super perfect, right? I want it to look like something that somebody possibly drew. So I like for my lines to have character, but they don't like that. They want to be able to just draw like perfect lines. Okay. So you guys can see that my cage is on here. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this out. And I think, should I make it a cage or should I just leave it as if it's a skirt? I'm thinking I should just leave it like this. And I have to paint metallic under painting. Is it under painting? It is. Dang it. Okay. It's fine. Fine. Everything is fine. And even when it's not fine, it's fine. I will do the underpainting under this skirt. I'm trying to think of what would be a good metallic to put under here. Because I have a really pretty bronze mica, but it's going to be dark. And I'm afraid if I go under with like a dark metallic, it's going to muddy up the design of the paper. So it's going to need to be a light metallic. So I think I will go in with gold. Which of course I don't have on my table, so I'm gonna have to go get that. Okay, so there is her skirt. And you guys see what I mean? The skirt really, because her waist is way up here and the skirt is wider. So if I start it there, that's gonna be weird. So I'm gonna have to start it a little bit lower, but I think we're okay. It'll just, it's an artistic piece, right? So we're going to take some artistic licensing. I think that's good. Maybe the bronze will help too. I don't know. Let's fussy cut her out and then we'll see where we are. I kind of want to keep these paint chips in here too. I may have to use them somewhere else, but we're going to use them. And now I'm stuck with what to do with the background. Maybe the warm topography would be nice on the background. Actually, that would be really nice. Good morning, Rima. Good morning, Madonna. Oh, thank you, Madonna. It's absolute madness. Hey, Kathy. I'm using a stencil. Mira, the universe heard you because I picked the stencil out of my can this morning. Six feet of snow. Oh my gosh, Kathy. Girl, I would be in the house with some big old puffy socks on, a big old puffy robe, some kind of a hot beverage, Probably watching some show that I've watched 5 times and binge watching the whole series if I had 6 feet of snow outside. I would be doing anything but going anywhere. Oh, 6 inches. Oh, okay, okay. That's not bad. I thought I saw the little foot thingy. Was it doubled? So I'm fussy cutting this out because the background is not gonna jive well with what I'm doing. I do like her. Look at her face. You see that face? That's a do not mess with me face. That is not a weak woman right there. She is not to be played with. You guys will notice that I never like, my women are never like demure. I like the women who cause problems. You know, Tim Holtz has some new fussy cutting scissors. I keep saying I'm going to get them and try them, but I haven't yet. And I don't know if he calls them fussy cutting scissors, but that's what they are. But they have the big wide grip on them though, which is what I like. And that they're sharp all the way to the tip. So it makes it super easy when you're like doing detailed cuts like this. Somebody said when they watch me fussy cut like this, that it just makes them crazy. They could just never do it. But to me, I don't know. It's kind of peaceful. You know, sometimes when you focus your attention on small details, your mind just goes blank for a few minutes, which for me is nice because my mind is on 24/7. She does not know how to be quiet. I think I'm going to cheat. I'm going to leave half of this on so that she has something to lean on, but I will put these other 2 somewhere else. Okay. So there she is, and then we're going to line her skirt up where it makes sense. And she has a bustle. You can tell because it goes up in the back. Okay. How are we looking, you guys? Oh, this is going to be so much fun. Sorry. Had a moment. You know what? I don't have to do the underpainting under her. I can do the underpainting under the background painting. And it says use a metallic. So I have a metallic bronze here. We're going to use this. I just had an idea. It just came to me. I guess my brain had to marinate for a few minutes before I came up with an idea. I'm going to use the warm typography as a background for this one. When I made these papers, I think that I was in the same mode because the warm typography does go really well with this paper. We're going to have to do some work to pop her forward a little bit, but I think it's going to be perfect. So I am going to use this mica powder, and this is from, I think it's called Penny, Copper Penny, I think this one is. I can't remember. From a design perspective, they really should have had a way that the color stayed on here. The color was like a little tab on the side, and then once you take it off, it's gone. But I digress. I'm going to mix some of this. And when you have mica powder, you guys, you can mix it with your top coat. You can mix it with your matte medium, any kind of water base that you have. You can make yourself like some paint, some metallic paint. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to make some metallic paint. And the cool thing about it is you can make it as intense as you want by controlling how much of your clear coat you put in there. And I always just mix what I need for right now because it doesn't store well. Oh, Carmen says she's in big puppy socks right now. And Carmen, I see that you're on the vertical, which I guess is fine today because our project is vertical. But you can, if you want to, you can pop out and go into the other one, which is not portrait, but what's the other one? Landscape. So I am streaming in 2 different formats today. So if you don't like that format, you can pop out and go into the other. Let's see. I wish I had, oh, I pulled out my little round brush and I didn't bring it out here. Something told me I was going to need it. Let me see if I can clean this brush enough to use it. I hate to do that. I'll be right back, you guys. Don't go anywhere. And I'll tell you my prompts when I get back, Kathy. So I pulled out, don't judge me. My brushes they've been through some things. My round brushes this morning because I had a feeling I was going to want to use them. So I am just going to take my, this is like a metallic bronze. And you guys know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around my edges. And I'm going around to my sides. I don't care. I don't know what I'm going to do with those just yet. We'll figure it out when we get there. But that should be pretty, right? And so, Kathy, my prompts for this morning is for collage and mark making, which I don't know what I'm going to do for that yet, but that one's kind of easy. Stencil under my decoupage paper. That was one of them. Decoupage, pair decoupage paper with the stencil. So this is what we're doing with her, with the Roycycled stencil. And then metallic underpainting. So right now I've taken care of the pair decoupage paper with the stencil, and I've taken care of underpainting with metallic. I still don't know what I'm going to stencil underneath my paper. But I might cheat and do her crown like that. I'm kind of liking that metallic on the outside too. I zone out when I fussy cut too. It's fine. Our body knows what to do. We do so much on autopilot that we don't even realize. David and I were going somewhere the other day, and he just pulled into Walmart. We weren't even going to Walmart. And I've done the same thing too. Okay. So there is my halo, and it is dark, but it is a metallic. So my metallic underpainting is done. Let me soften those edges just a little bit. I'm basically dry brushing, right? Because I don't have any more. And see how little I made, and I still have some left. So we might use that later. I should just go ahead and paint this whole thing, huh? Since I have some, let's just go ahead and do that really quickly. And the metallic paint dries so quickly. So this is not going to get in our way at all. And I wanted to pull a sign out today because I could come and we could work in my art journal every Monday, but like that's going to be boring. And our art does not live in any one place, right? We can have it wherever we want. And so I'll be pulling out different substrates. Sometimes it will be my journal, but you guys won't know. You'll have to come back every Monday to see what madness I'm up to. Way back in the day, they let you take scissors on planes. I guess you could smoke on a plane, so you probably take scissors too on them. People ruin it stuff for everybody, don't they? And again, this is just a sign that I found at the thrift store. And I just used some white primer to paint over the letters that were on here. I forgot what it said, but I liked it because it was metal. And I knew I could do just about anything with it. And this was actually one of the projects I had prepped for my 30-day lives in January. But y'all know I didn't use it because every day I was still running around prepping something because I had a new idea. I love that my mind is like really creative, but sometimes she just needs to be quiet for a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. So now we have a really nice bronze. And I still have a little bit left, but at least I don't have to waste any paint. And I have my coffee cup dangerously close to my brush jar. So y'all just pray for me that I don't end up plunking a brush into my coffee this morning. I should probably move that. Okay. So now we're going to decoupage. Let me see. I need to stencil under my decoupage paper. Technically, this is going to be under her, right? So, I mean, I think I met that challenge because this skirt is going to start under her. What do you guys think? Or do I need to stick with the spirit of the challenge? I might paint white under her wings there because I think I want those to be sure to stand out. And then I do want to put a crown on her, but we can do that at the end. And I think a metallic gold would be really fun, right? We could just put a crown right on her head. And I pulled out this transfer today. If anybody from IOD is listening, can you guys make us a similar paint inlay? Like, I love having all these words and stuff for signage, but it would be really cool if it were a paint inlay. Just putting that out there. But we do have enough room where we could add something at the top. But this is mostly about food. I could put Imperial. I might be able, let me see how big that is. And you guys, IOD is one of the sponsors for the Roycycled creative contests. Are you guys, of course you want gold, Rima. Are you guys going to enter a piece into the contest? I think you should. IOD has given us 4 packages. So depending on, you have to go to the page for the rules. I mean, for the prizes, because they're split up. But there'll be 4 people, 4 different people who win a package. And the IOD includes a stamp, a transfer, a mold, and a paint inlay. I don't know which ones, but that's what's included. Maybe that might be kind of like interesting. And we also have Pint Art as a sponsor, and they're giving a crackle, a fine line crackle kit with all the things, the fine line crackle 1 and 2, the sealer, and oh yeah, the wax stuff that you put in for the cracks. And plus 2 mystery boxes. Megan was excited about my mystery box ideas. And then, of course, Roycycled. And I'm missing somebody. There's 4 sponsors. Oh, good, Tammy. And yes, if you're a Roycycled retailer, you can still enter. You have to enter the professionals, but you can still enter the contest. So do it. And for my professionals, we have prizes, but I think for you guys, it's more about visibility. So as a professional, if you win first place, you'll get 30 days on the cover of the Roycycled Treasures page. We'll do an interview together. Imperial is too big. Dang it. I don't know. I'll figure out something. We'll figure it out. But if you guys are interested, you can go to roycycledacademy.com and you'll find information there. Yes, March 6th is the deadline. I extended it a week, mainly because I was just slow getting my stuff together. So it's extended till March 6th. So you guys still have a couple of weeks, right? That's 2 weeks before your entries are due. So I'm hoping to see them. We've already had entries coming in. It's super excited. I will say there aren't a lot coming in for professional home decor, which is interesting. Or maybe they probably just haven't finished yet. Okay. I need to just stop messing around and go ahead and start, don't I? I'm trying to figure out what am I going to use the decoupage with today. I think I'm going to go ahead and use, so this is my, not trepidation, but my, well, I guess it doesn't matter because I'm using metallic. And generally when I'm using metallic, I don't like to go over it with a matte because I don't want to dull down my metallic. Like that's the whole purpose of having a metallic, right? And so I don't want to use a matte finish. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just use Pint Art's Decoupage Medium because it's the only gloss medium that I have. If George comes today, he's going to be giving me the side eye for real because my shop is a mess. Although I did find a scrap piece of the Warm Topography. I think we can use that. Where is my decoupage glue? Oh, it's right here. I thought this was the glitter one. Okay, so let's get our background decoupage first, and then we will add our little lady. I do have this leftover piece here that I don't know if I want to use. Let me see. I know I had a whole piece last night of the Warm Topography. Yeah, I'm a mess. I can never find anything. I think I spend half my life looking for stuff. Oh, good, Lou. Good morning. Good morning. You can clone George. I need one. Girl, I wish I could clone him for myself. I need two. Yes, I think I'm going to send out. I thought we added something. Maybe I just talked about adding something for your name tags. Like, what would you like to go on your name tag? But I'm going to end up using that same piece. So I might as well use the scrap. Okay. And then I always have them make a couple of name tags too. Just in case, you never know. Somebody might register at the last minute or I think I'm going to do this. This will be cool. Of course, I'm going to do it the other way, but I can go ahead and trim it though. So I'm going to trim this and we'll get this down and then we can get started on our paper doll. So I'm running my fingers just along the edges. It's going to mark the paper so I know exactly where I need to trim. I'm not going to trim right on that line. I'll leave myself a little bit of room for error. Although this is, when you're decoupaging an inset, you guys, you really can cut right on the line because when you start decoupaging, your paper stretches. So even though you mark it, it's still going to be too big because your paper will start stretching once you start decoupaging. Hey, Kay. Good morning, Angela. How are you? Yes, my best friend and I are about as opposite as you could ever imagine. And in high school, we worked together at McDonald's. Actually, in college, we worked together at McDonald's. She didn't work at McDonald's in high school. And she would always be like, clean as you go, clean as you go. Like, ugh, didn't you learn anything at McDonald's? I guess. Clean as you go, clean as you go. I've gotten a little better, Kay, but I have a lot of stuff. But yes, I try to do a better job. But going live every day in June and January set me back just a wee bit. So I'm just trimming this so I don't have to fight with all this paper. I can just focus on what I'm doing, right? And we're going to put our paper like this. I do want to do a dry fit just to make sure that I like that, because now I'm looking at this bird cage and I'm really liking this for her, right? But then decisions. Okay. Let's see how I'm feeling about this one. Because we're going to lose those crowns, which is fine. I guess they're not really like... And then one decision I need to make is, do I want to have the background coming through, or do we need to paint these pieces so that they're opaque? What do you guys think? I don't know where that's going to go, but I want to keep it. That's kind of nice that we have the music sheets above. Up above my head, I hear angels singing. That's how my head works, you guys. It's ridiculous. All day, all day. Up above my head, there must be a God somewhere. Okay. And I'm trying to situate her. I don't want her all the way on the bottom. I don't want her dead center. I think this is good. She's taking up roughly 2/3 space. And I can put something there, but I don't feel like I have to. And we're going to have a crown on her head too. So that's there. But this little bird cage would be so cute with her though, right? Let it go. Just let it go, Royce. Let it go. Okay. I'm going to decoupage this and we'll trim this. Or we're not going to trim it because I want it to dry before we trim. But we can decoupage this and start layering her. Actually, okay. Let's get her painted because I do want her to be opaque. I do not want to have the words from the background showing through her. So we're going to go ahead and paint the back of these two pieces white. And what that's going to do is make it opaque so the background doesn't show through. And then that way these can be setting aside drying while we are working on getting the other one decoupaged. I'll just use white primer because that's what I have sitting here. And it doesn't matter. You can use chalk style paint, you know, acrylic paint. I just have, this is what I have here from last night. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. And this solves my problem. Remember I was saying earlier, I wanted the wings to pop. So now I don't have to worry about it because I'm going to paint the wings. The one thing when I'm painting the back of my paper that I try to be really careful about is making sure I don't get white on the front of the paper. So I try to be super careful. You guys see I'm not using a ton of paint. Just enough to paint it because I don't want to have paint everywhere. And if I have her dark around the edges, that's fine. I'd rather have something showing through around the edges than getting white paint on the front of my paper. What is going on with Karen? Do we need to call 911? Can you call 911 for another state? Kay had a really good question. She said she ran out of paint and she's been using white gesso. Yes, Kay, that's fine. As long as it's white. You know what's funny, Kay, is I've been finding myself using white gesso in my paintings sometimes. It just has a different, I don't know. Sometimes I like it better because it's a little bit more transparent than my paint. But yes, gesso is fine. That's what I said. Chalk paint, gesso, acrylic paint, whatever white paint that you have that you can paint on the back of yours is fine. And even for decoupaging, if you're using acrylic products, you're probably more likely to have like a medium. Mine is usually a matte medium because that's my preference, but you can use any of the mediums, you know. I prefer to use the thinner medium. I think that's why I like Liquitex's matte medium because it's basically watered down. It's nice and thin, and I like it a lot. Okay. It's almost dry, and I'm not even done yet. And I'm really trying to be careful, you guys. I do not want to get paint on the front of my paper. Can you tell I've done that before? Oh my goodness. Karen, are you okay? You know, our craft spaces can be dangerous places to fall. And I know I have a couple of people here from my membership, you guys. I think I have a lesson listed for Saturday, but that's an error. We're just going to hang out Saturday, okay? I'll get it fixed at some point this week. I have a super busy week, but I will get that fixed. Maybe I'll try and do my my collage on my gel plate again, but that'll be just me, not like a lesson, you know. Okay. So I have these painted white. So I'm gonna set these aside and they can dry while we decoupage this part. Let me put this white away. Make sure everything on my hand is dry before I start. And so we're going to decoupage the same way we always do, right? I missed my paper, although this one is long. Let me put some things away really quickly. Look, clean as I go, clean as I go. Okay, that's what we're going to do, right? All these little pieces, I always save them because, you know, I'll use them for something. I have my 4 sticks out. So let's see, I've done stenciling under my decoupage. I'm cheating. That one's counting done. So I still have metallic underpainting is done and pairing my decoupage with my stencil is done. So all I have to do is some mark making, and that's like the easiest of all of them, I think. I'm going to keep my little paint thing here. I don't know if I'm going to use it. I wanted to turn this sideways. We started out sideways. And it's because I rather decoupage that way. And I know it shouldn't matter, but it does. It's a thing. So this is a long piece. And if I missed all of it, this is going to dry out anyways. So I'm just going to mist as I go, as I decoupage this. And this is one of the ways that you can kind of use the misting method on like large furniture pieces, is by misting as you go. And I cut this pretty tight, so I want to make sure that my paper is positioned right before I lay down my anchor row. Oh, Deborah, you should see my art studio right now. I'm in the same predicament in there. And I need to get rid of something, but I just don't know what I want to get rid of. But something has to go if I'm going to be able to fit in there. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure my paper is going to lay right everywhere before I lay down this anchor row. So, again, I'm using a gloss decoupage medium because I'm using metallic paint and I don't want to dull it, because then why use metallic, right? I'm being super careful to only put the product where I want my paper to stick. And mist my paper. I do like to let my paper rest for a few seconds after I mist it to really give those paper fibers an opportunity to relax so that I get my nice wrinkle-free finish. Make sure that that's going to work on my paper. I think so. So now that my anchor row is down, I don't have to worry about my paper like shifting or moving around in a way that I don't want it to be, right? And I can do larger sections now too. Let's mist my paper so it can start chilling. And that way it'll be nice and relaxed by the time I'm ready to adhere it to my surface. Now I've gotten some medium up on the ledge of this, and I don't want my paper to stick there. So that's why you guys see me going back and kind of wiping that off, because I don't want the paper to stick on that lip. I just want it to be on the inside of this. And I'd rather go in later and have to put some product under the edge of my paper than to have to scratch it off somewhere where I don't want it. And I always look from the side when I'm decoupaging. If you look from the side and you see like a dry patch, that means there's not any product there and you're going to end up with a bubble. And you don't want that. And no matter how well you think you've covered an area, like if you take the time to look from the side, you'll see how easy it is to leave a dry spot. And I'm just making sure that I have product all the way down to where I ended last time, so I don't have like and I am not used to working with the thicker medium. Like this is like a creamier medium, so I'm having to be careful because it's a little tackier than like my clear coat is. I must have had a dry area right here because it's not adhering. So I'm just going to pick it up carefully, very carefully. One of the benefits of the 18-pound tissue is it is way more forgiving. Like if I was working with a napkin and I needed to pick it up, there would be no way, right? But because the 18-pound is hardier, it is a lot more forgiving than the thinner paper. I mean, it's still tissue. You don't want to be like roughing it up or anything, but okay. Let it chill out for a few seconds and let it relax. I should have done that beforehand. Oh. I'm missing half the conversations. I'm sorry, you guys. If you asked a question and I didn't answer you, please post it again. I was focused on the decoupage. I'm going to go over this carefully with my medium. I do have a couple of wrinkles. I just think I was thrown off a little bit by the tackiness of that decoupage glue. Just because I'm used to working with the thinner mediums, not because it's bad. It's just, it's a me thing. And I'll just work really hard not to get it on my metallic. And you get to a point where you, like right now, I have some wrinkles that are bothering me and I'm trying to work them out. But if I keep messing around, I'm going to end up tearing my paper. So I'm going to walk away. Just walk away. And you guys can see that you can see that halo underneath. I don't think you can tell that it's metallic. This paper isn't, it's not light or dark, but it's not particularly light. But it still serves its purpose to give me some dimension though, right? This is not the project that I thought I would be doing like at all. I just want to say that. This is completely different. Be careful, Kathy. Have a good day. Oh yeah, Lou. You guys please share. Thank you so much. Heavy body gel medium would work. Yeah, Chris. I mean, it's the, so for me, I like the lighter. I enjoy using like the water-based sealers more than the things that have more body. I usually save those if I'm working with like a heavier paper. Or like when I did my the one can with the milk paint, I, just because of the nature of the milk paint, I do think like a heavy body gel or not even the body gel, but the smoother one would have been a better option than the clear coat. But I like working with the really runny mediums. And that's just a personal preference. Karen's over there twisting and shouting. So if you're coming on late, we are playing our mixed media mashup game this morning. The four things that I pulled was collage, mark making, decoupage, pair decoupage with a stencil, which we've done that. We'll be adding that in a few minutes. I had to do a metallic underpainting, and that's the halo that you see underneath the paper. And then for stencils, I had to pair the decoupage with the stencil, and we've done that, and we'll be adding that on top of here in just a few minutes. I had pulled out the photography masterboard and the end papers. So I guess my brain was thinking like warm, but I honestly don't have a clear plan when I come to you guys on Monday mornings because I don't know what the sticks are going to tell me to do. And so this idea was not in my head at all when I started this morning. Now, you guys probably won't see me trim this because when although this drier medium, it may work better. So a lot of times when you're decoupaging, the moisture gets trapped in this space right here, and then when you go to trim it, you end up tearing it instead of cutting it. You want your paper to be completely dry when you trim so that it's cutting clean. So I may be able to this decoupage medium, because it is thicker and tackier, is a little drier than the runnier mediums I'm used to. So I think I will probably be able to trim that before we go off today. But so this paper that I'm using on the bottom is from the Warm Topography decoupage paper. That's one of the ones from the new release. And if you are looking for decoupage paper, you can find the paper and or the retailers who carry it at roycycled.com. I can always tell when I have new people because they're asking about the paper or the prints, you know. Good night. I have glue in my thread, so I need to fix that. But not right now. Okay, so let's get to the fun stuff. So we have our background done, and now we get to put our Beautimist lady on the background. So we fussy cut these pieces out of the Photography Masterboard decoupage paper. So this is going to be the top of our paper doll, and this cage we use the Roycycled paper doll stencil to make the cage or the bottom of her dress. And her waist is tiny, so I'm going to have to cheat a little bit. Should I bring her up? I feel like if I keep her down here, then she's on the bottom third, but I don't like her all the way to the bottom, so I'll bring her up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and add the dress. I do think that, let me add a little bit of heat to this because we did use ink over the top of the paper using the Roycycled stencil. And I'm adding a little heat just to make sure that my ink is set so that it doesn't smear all over the place when I start decoupaging. Yeah, Flea. And your inkjet will probably be good for your image transfer on your gel plate too. Just use it right after you print. I think that's a mistake that I made on Wednesday, is that I had, in my desire to be prepared, I had printed it out way before my demonstration. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get her adhered, get the skirt adhered. And if you're just hopping on and you're new, my name is Royce. I'm the founder, owner, and operator of Roycycled Treasures. And we are meeting here every Monday for Mixed Media Mondays, where I pull out random challenges out of my can, and then I have to put them into action. It's a way to just challenge ourselves creatively and get us to operate outside of what we normally would do, right? I didn't mist my paper, so it's wrinkling when it's coming into contact with my medium. I hope that's right. It feels like it's tilting to the right a little bit, which could be not good. We'll see what happens. I got a bubble underneath there. I'm trying to push it out. Okay. And I think we're okay. We're going to start right there. Ugh, I did tilt a little bit further than I wanted. Her wings are going to go all the way out there. Maybe I can cheat and tilt her a little bit. Nobody will know, right? Although that might be kind of cool having her wing out there. Okay. I'm going to remember to mist this time because that was kind of a pain. It's funny. I never used to mist my paper first, but now I have to do it. And so I'm positioning her cage to match up with her dress. So that it lines up. And I feel like I need to trim that before I decoupage her wings on the outside. I didn't think about that. So I'm just gonna do her wings up to the edge of the paper for now. Or maybe it doesn't matter because it's gonna be under her wings anyways. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go for it. We're gonna decoupage her wings all the way out. But I'll put the product on the back of her wings. That way I know exactly where it needs to go. I might be pushing my luck here. The thing that irritated me may be the thing that ends up being the coolest part of the piece, right? Isn't it funny how that happens sometimes? Okay. What do you guys think? I think I like it. And I do want to, let me dry this and then we'll trim the rest of the paper. We'll put her crown on. What time is it? 18? This seems to be a little abrupt to me, like the way it's cutting off on the bottom right there. And I didn't really see that before. Where did I put mine? So maybe I'll put this under that and that will help with that. So that it's not just one line straight across, right? If I put this here, it'll break that up a little bit. This is a fun piece. I think I'm going to have to find somewhere to put this on my wall. What word would you guys put on here? It does look kind of cool going off the side, right? Lou, it really is a game changer. And you know, it's funny. So when I did not the last decoupage masterclass, but the one before that, we were decoupaging and I was talking about how to decoupage like a larger project. And I was saying how you can decoupage like the edges that hang over. I mean, you can miss the edges that hang over because the paper that you're working on is getting decoupage medium and the paper outside isn't. And because you would get like these weird like stress marks. And then my brain was like, why not just miss all the paper? Anyways, it was interesting. That's why it's important. Like you guys can watch, which is fine. I love it when you guys come hang out and watch, but I really do hope that you're doing because that's where the discoveries are made. It's in those small, like problem solving spaces when you're actually working is where you discover things. And when someone is teaching, those are also the things that are often left out, not on purpose. It's just that once you learn something and you internalize it, you don't really see it as part of the process anymore. And so those small things are the things that often get left out when people teach how to do something. It's one of the things I try not to do, but even I know that I do it, right? Everybody does. So really, if you want to grow creatively, you really have to do the thing because that's where you're going to find, that's where you're going to grow is in the doing. And so I'm using a side of this to guide my knife So hopefully I can get a nice straight cut, although my blade is still wandering a little bit because the edge is curved. It's not straight. And I'm cutting through my paint a little bit, but I'm not stressed out. I can just go in and touch that up later. I do find if I go in shorters, like if I try to go longer, my blade is more apt to like wander. So if I'm patient and do shorter runs, I'm more likely to stay straight with my blade. And I was right, the paper did dry faster using the other medium than when I use, you know, the water-based sealers. So I'm able to trim faster, which that's a bonus. And you guys notice how my blade is sideways? It's not down like this because I'm literally leveraging this edge over here to help to control my blade so that it's straight. And when you get to your corners, often they'll be popped up. It's from the tension of the paper when it dries. You want to pull it all the way to the edge when you're cutting, because if you cut it when it's sticking up, it won't be all the way to the edge. You know what I mean? And then I'll come back in with some medium and I'll tack that back down. Or you can come in and tack that edge, that corner down good, and then trim it. But either way, just pay extra attention and make sure that you're stretching it all the way into the corner when you're trimming. And if you guys are enjoying the Mixed Media Mondays, do me a favor, like, share, comment. And if you're watching on your device, you might see, oh man, why y'all let me cut the wing? That's what happens when I'm yapping. Oh man. I might have to go in there with some paint and fix that. You guys see what I did? I cut right through my wing. One of you is probably yelling at me, don't do that. Etymology nature, that would be good to put on there. I know you know what? She needs some more stuff, doesn't she? Like you're making me think like the entomology transfer or my ferns transfer. I think we're going to add some. Oh, my new favorite transfer would be good. So when we're doing the mixed media game, we have to use the things on the stick, but we're not relegated to just the things on the stick, right? We can add extra stuff if we want. Okay, which is definitely what I'm going to do. You guys see that? I cut right through my wing. I am so fired. It's okay. I'm going to pretend like I don't see that. And then I'll go in and like tack that stuff down. Let's get her crown on. And then I have a transfer I want to add too. I want to add this paint chip on here. Which transfer do you guys think I'm going to use? And I didn't paint this one white on the back, so we'll see. Oh, A lot didn't show through, just a little bit. Actually, that'll be a good demonstration. You guys can see how this one blended in a little bit more, and this one is standing out more because this one has the white paint and this one doesn't. So you don't have to paint white on the back, but if you want it to like stand up against the background or stand out from the background, the white paint really does help. I could decoupage another wing on her. Like, she actually has 2 wings. Oh, you mean like to cover up that one? That would be a good idea. I could do that. And then that way you wouldn't see that cut right there. That is a good plan, Lou. I think I like it. I know. I'm thinking some ferns would look really good too. But I'm actually thinking, because normally I would use a fern, right? That would be my go-to. But I have a new go-to. And because it's, you know, it's a girl and she's like, that's pretty formally, I think my new go-to might work. I think I am going to put a new wing on top of this one, but I won't do it right now. But ultimately, that's probably going to be my problem solving. Thank you. That is an excellent idea. Let me find the stencil. See, the fact that I lose stuff when I'm using it is just ridiculous. Like, I didn't even go anywhere. How did I lose the stencil? Okay. But I want this to be gold. I'm going to put this crown. I love it. It's just such a quirky crown. So I'm going to put this right on top of her head. Or should I put this? I could do it right here. Let me think for a moment. I almost feel like you see how this paper is really warm right here? I'm feeling like that would be a better crown than if I put it on there. Let's see if I'm right. Or I could just be overcomplicating things because I have priors for that too. So Karen, Twist and Shout is playing in my head right now. Thank you very much for mentioning that song earlier. That might be my earwig for the day. What do you guys think? Is that blend? Oh, I think that's perfect. But I do need to paint the back of that because I don't want it to blend in. So let me paint that super quick like. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is it'll be faster if I just do the plastic method real quick. This is just a piece of stiff plastic from a packaging, probably from paper, it looks like, some decoupage paper. So I'm going to use this for this. I need a small brush. I meant to bring all my brushes out and I did not. I'll try this brush. My fine line brushes, you're not supposed to store them down like that. They're all jacked. Ooh, I do have more small brushes. Okay. So I still have some paint in here, and I'm going to take and mix. So ultimately, I'm going to end up with like 50% paint, 50% decoupage medium, right? And I'm going to mix that together, and I'm going to paint that on the back of my crown. And I'm going to mist this plastic right here. And what misting does is it creates like basically a suction, and the paper like sticks to the plastic. And then I can paint my mixture on the back. So now I don't have to wait for it to dry, essentially. I'm going to be able to do it all in one go. This piece is so small, I'm like struggling a little bit with my brushes. This brush has like some serious flyaway issues going on. Okay. And because this plastic is see-through, sticking to the plastic, I can see exactly, and I think I'm gonna lean it forward a little bit. Be a little cheeky. Like I don't want it to be so serious, right? So I'm gonna lean it forward a little bit so that it's kind of not perfect. So we're not taking ourselves too seriously over here. And I do want to go right over the top of that with some medium. Oh, that's fun. What do you guys think? How fun is that? Sorry, I'm having way too much fun this morning. Oh, Tina, that's a good idea. I could put a mold right there, and then this will look like it's just a shadow under the wing. Is there a wing like this that's a mold, though, like a side view? I almost considered on one of my projects, is it out here? I used the wing stamp, but this one, the wing was already done. I cannot believe I did that. I'm so upset with myself. Worst case scenario, I'm probably going to just cover it up with another, sacrifice the other one from another piece of paper and just cover that wing up with the other wing. But the mold is a good idea, though, or even have a mold and put the wing on top of it, like decoupage it and have the texture be underneath it. That would be fabulous. So my last step, let me dry this really quickly, and then we're going to put some transfer on here. Oh, I see it. I see the transfer that I want to use. Although I'm saying my last step, but you guys know. So I want her to stand up a little bit more. So I'm going to do something. This is just some charcoal. It's vine charcoal. And so I'm just going to go around her with this. And I'm not going to do all of her, like just a little bit. I do want to do the back of this crown. Well, I mean, not the back. Let's do the front of the crown. I'll do under her wing and her arm right here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a brush and we're just going to call attention to her a little bit. I'm actually going to use my finger because I like it better. A brush would give you more control, but I do like using my finger, and I'm going to rub that charcoal. I'm going to create a shadow, and using the medium instead of water is going to lock all this into place so that when it dries, I don't have to worry about it moving anymore. And I wish I would have not used that other little brush that I used right now, because that would probably give me closer to what I want. Or you can use a brush too and just go in and move that charcoal around a little bit and just create like little shadows. And that's gonna help her pop out from the background a little bit. Ugh, what did I do to my crown? Lord have mercy for Jesus. I'm batting 1,000 today. I'm gonna leave that crown alone. I'll go back and deal with that in a few minutes. Actually, I didn't put enough product underneath that one. Let's go here too. You guys know what I mean? Just so she pops out a little bit from the background. Put a little bit under here, and then that's it. Okay. See what I mean? Just adding that shadow just really helps her to pop from the background. Girl, I'm a good at a pivot because Lord only knows. And you know, it's good. I think, thank you, Flea. I appreciate that, because I think sometimes when you watch someone and everything is planned out to go perfectly, and it always goes perfectly, when you do something and it doesn't go right, you feel like A, you did something wrong, and then B, you don't get to see the pivot, because we all know that when we are creating, there are definitely pivots. There's a lot of pivoting going on, right? So I think that I'm going to finish her off with, let's see if I can get this transfer without knocking everything off. Look, I don't want to do a Karen, which is what I just did. I'm just teasing you, Karen. That was a joke. She knit me some shadow behind her crown to make it pop too. I put some, oh, I guess I didn't put it. I should have put it behind instead of in front, because I started putting it in front and it didn't feel right. But maybe I was thinking the light might be coming from this side, is what I was thinking. But I'll put some under the bottom. A little bit. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like her crown might need to pop a little bit more. I might go in and just dot some metallic gold on her crown or something. Maybe that will work. But I was thinking these flowers would be pretty. I really love this transfer. It's my new favorite. It really is. So let's see which pieces. And I know it's not like new, but it's still kind of new. And I think it's because there are a lot of neutral pieces in here, right? Everything is not like super bright, which is why I think that these will work for this. Let me see which ones I would like to use. I'm thinking, see, like these pieces, they're not super bright, but they can add something. Although these are kind of short. Well, that one's kind of tall. And this piece is so long that I might need something. Ooh. What about this piece right here? It's kind of like a corner piece. Let's see. We're going to cut it out and see. Or is this? Those are different. Those are like white almost. I mean, like bluish white. I don't think that'll go well. But these pieces might. And I'm not saying that we can't put any color, but like everything on here is pretty neutral, right? So I think if I put like a random color on here, it'll just feel weird. But I think this red right here is muted enough that it'll be fine. So let's see. We'll try this piece. And then I'm going to do a corner piece. This is pretty. I just don't know about that rose right there. I think I'll go with the more neutral corner piece. This one right here. And I'm going to cut it out just so I can see it, because I cannot see it on this page, right? I need to cut it out and then put it on the piece before I can get a good idea. And I'm just trimming out what I think I'm going to use, and then a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and just trim out this whole piece. And then if I need to trim it, I will. Because I know I don't want those blue flowers. Okay. So I just feel like we need a little bit of something more. We have a lot of empty space on here. That might be too much. That's too big. We could use this down here. Maybe not all of it, but maybe just like, I don't know. Maybe I should just go with the ferns. Part of my challenge is the length of this, right? It's long, but it's also skinny. So like I felt like this scale would be appropriate. And if I look at like the whole width of the sign, yes. But if we're looking at this just this much, then it kind of feels like it might overwhelm things a little bit. Unless I only use this one flower, maybe. I think I can make it work. And the other transfer bits that are left, I can use those for a different project, right? I'm not wasting anything. I'll just tape the backing onto these so that the backing doesn't separate from the transfer, and I'll use it for something else on another day. It just won't be used today. And I can probably... Okay, so that doesn't feel overwhelming, right? But it's still pretty long. And so it feels like it belongs. And I wish this went that way instead of that way. Same with this piece. It goes off instead of, I don't want to, okay. So that piece can go there, and maybe we can just have this come off the side here. Whenever I'm pulling my transfers apart, I always think about like how everything would fit together. Like this is, I have like a random branch coming out of this going nowhere. So I'm going to cut that off. This one ends, it tapers off, so that's fine. If I put this one on first, that would make sense. I could even tilt that a little bit. And then we have that going up. And then I just need to find something to put in this corner. And I know someone's thinking, Race, you could add a little pop of color. I could, but I don't want to. You could put the fern in the bottom left corner. I know, Pam, I'm thinking about it. Sometimes, you know what, I don't even know. Part of my problem is I do see the fern over there and I might go get it. Sometimes when mixing and matching, if the line work from the artwork doesn't jive together, they may not go together, which is what I'm thinking. And I'm looking at this fern pack. And I'm thinking that, oh, wow, do I even have any left? Okay. I'm not sure. And this fern, I love this fern, but it is huge. So when I'm thinking about scale, and then also, is the line work similar enough to this to where they would look together, good together? So I could cut like one of these off. Do I like the fern better? This piece will be really cool. I don't know. I think I'm liking the flowers better. I think I'm going to stick with the flowers. I just need to figure out how I'm going to balance everything out is all. We don't want blue flowers. Those got to go. I mean, they're beautiful, just not today. And I will use those on a different day for a different project. And these berries are too pink. I don't want those either. Somebody's like, Royce, you just cutting off all the good stuff. I know. I know. So if I have this, I could do that. And that would balance it out a little bit. And then if I had one of these pieces kind of going to the side, and I don't even need a lot, just something little. Like maybe even this sprig right here would be enough. Whenever I'm trying to balance out my composition, I don't want my elements to compete. I want them to work together. So I will generally have one side be a little bit lighter than the other side. I don't know if that goes there. Maybe I should just put that by itself. And that's enough. Oh, decisions. Wish this one curved that way, because that would be nice to put in that corner. But it curves weird. Or maybe if I did it like this. I know. I remember your baggy project, Flea. Mine will end up. I have a like a little tote thingy. They'll end up in there, taped together. But I use them. I think that's perfect. I think I'm gonna leave that just like that. And then I'll use this piece over here. That kind of speaks to that. Okay, so I have my corner pieces, but these pieces go first because this piece is going to cover up the edges of these pieces. This one's super important, so I'm going to try to make sure it doesn't move. I should probably start with this side then, huh? And you guys, you can put decoupage, you can do your transfers over your decoupage paper. Just make sure that your decoupage paper is completely dry before you start. If you start, because you know how we are, we get excited. If you start and your decoupage paper isn't completely dry, what will happen is the transfer will lift up your paper, but it's not a deal breaker. Just leave your transfer on your paper, walk away for a few hours, leave it alone. Don't touch it, leave it. And when you come back after everything finishes drying, you'll be able to finish putting your transfer down. Hello, Heidi. How are you this morning? I am way past, you guys. It is 11:53. Although it's kind of hard to do these projects in just an hour and a half. I feel like the first 20 minutes I spend just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I have to go to the warehouse today because I got orders to get out. And then I have to come back and work on designs. So as long as I'm picking this up and my transfer is transferring, I'm going to keep going. If at any point my paper starts picking up, because I can see that there's moisture in here, I didn't wait long enough. So I'm going to let that sit because I'm in danger. You in danger, girl. So I'm going to trim this paper off, the part that did trim. And so I'm going to show you guys something really quickly. You see how you can see that moisture forming under that. That lets me know that there's still moisture there. So I'm going to leave that and I'll come back and finish transferring this in a little bit. I do not want to chance it. And so I know that this is going to start here. And so I just have to figure out where I want this to start. I think I'm going to take this little twig off. And I do want it to start under there. So and I'm thinking for the metal around the edges, if I go, oh man, dang it. If I go with some dark wax, that'll really make that metal pretty. I really want the edge of this transfer to be hidden, so that's why I'm going through kind of extra measures to make sure about where I'm putting this. And I'm pretty dry down here, so I'm good to go. I guess it was just wet over there. Somebody had mentioned that they wish that the backing was clear on the transfers. And ever since they said that, I'm like, it would be nice if this backing were clear. I just wonder how the artwork would look like from a marketing standpoint if the back was clear. Like the white allows you to see more readily. And if it were clear, it might be a little harder to be able to communicate that. Walk away, Karen. Go start another project. Hey, Sylvia. But you guys see how once you start playing, and you guys have these products already, you don't even have to go out and buy anything. I know you guys have stuff. And so maybe this will challenge you to pull out supplies that maybe you purchased and you haven't used yet, right? If you pull one of your popsicle sticks and it's telling you to use a stamp and you bought that stamp 6 months ago and it's been in your stash and you haven't used it, maybe this is a way to get you to use those products that you used, that you've purchased. Because if you guys are like me, I see stuff and I have ideas and plans, and then I don't know, something shinier comes by and I forget about it, and now I have this product. Although lately I've been wanting to make jewelry, and primarily because I want jewelry. Like I have these brass tags that I scored and I love them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these will make gorgeous earrings, right? So like, I've been wanting to make my own jewelry lately. And oddly enough, even though I don't make jewelry, I have jewelry supplies. So I will probably do it. Oh, for the membership, wouldn't that be fun, you guys, if we spend some time making creative jewelry? Because we're almost done with the gel plate. What do you guys think? And it probably all started, we had a guest who came in and she makes things. So she does these beautiful paint pours, and she started collecting the paint pours because with the acrylic paint, you know, it's like rubber. She started collecting her paint pours and making other things with it. And so she made some jewelry pieces that were so beautiful. And I think that's where my inspiration for jewelry came from. I probably should have waited before I started putting this transfer down because I still have quite a bit of moisture in my piece. So if you're wondering why it's taking so long to get this transfer down, that's why. I am not working under optimum circumstances here. But as long as my paper isn't picking up, I'm going to keep transferring this on here. Oh. I spoke and it happened. You guys see what happened? I literally spoke it and it came into existence. Okay. So I'm going to leave that and I will come back and I will finish transferring these little bits later. Let's try to see if we can get this piece down. And I have some touching up to do. I have paper that's stuck along the edge here. I'm going to go scrape that off and get my corners down. I'm thinking I might take like a metallic marker and outline that crown a little bit. I have some metallic pens somewhere. Maybe I really like the way that looks. Maybe I'll just use some Azo Gold around that. But I will have to do some finishings on here. But we have run out of time today. So I will show you guys a picture of her when I get finished, though. But hopefully you guys had fun, and either you had fun watching me be clumsy and figure stuff out, or you were inspired by something that you saw today. Either way, thank you so much for joining me for another Mixed Media Monday session. I think I'm really going to enjoy these sessions because they really do challenge me. Like, honest to God, when I came this morning, this was not even a consideration, right? I really had to figure things out on the fly. Some of it worked out better than others. I really do wish my crown wasn't jacked. But overall, I mean, I cut my wings. I'm super sad about that. But I think that it's a good idea to put another pair of wings on top of that, and then you won't even know that I ever did that. But the flowers do kind of add a little bit, right? Like, I feel like it doesn't take away from what we've done, but it does help to add to it. I love this piece so much. This is probably going to go somewhere in my space. And some dark wax will help. I love the metallic, right? But sometimes I don't want it to look like garish, I guess. And so I think if I go over it with a dark wax and push the wax into the recesses, it'll like grunge it up and age it a little bit. Maybe even take a little dark wax around the edges. She'll be perfect. But that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this project. Shiny object syndrome. Yes, I suffer from the shiny object syndrome so bad. Love that above her crown. It's ideas flowing from her, from the universe. Ooh, I like that, Karen. Yes. That's how it works, right? You get like sudden urges or sudden ideas seemingly from out of nowhere. But I'm hoping that you guys will start joining me. My 4 pieces that I had for today was my metallic underpainting, and we did use a metallic to paint for the base layer of the decoupage paper. I decoupaged my paper with a stencil to make the bottom of her dress and also to make the crown. Mark making, I really didn't do any mark making, did I? I think we consider when we use the charcoal to go in and shade, that was mark making, right? Sure. And then stencil under your decoupage paper. So technically, there's a portion of the stencil decoupage paper that's under her dress. I know that wasn't the nature of the challenge, but I did do it though. Lou says crackle. Oh my gosh, Lou, don't even get me started. But yes, crackle. Oh, I think I need crackle. Why you do that to me, Lou? I was done, and now I'm not done. That's what I said, Karen. I think that's mark making when I use the charcoal, right? Crackle over this would be gorgeous. And we haven't really done crackle over transfers. So maybe we'll pull her out. We'll have to choose like, because you guys know how it is. When you're live, it's hard to do all of the finishing work because you're already trying to move through so many different processes so quickly. So maybe once a month, we'll go back to some of our projects and we'll do the finishing on them together. I think we'll do that. I like when we did that on our daily lives for January. And we took the one Monday and we go back and do some finishing work. So I'm going to leave her just like this. And we'll do, let's do the first Monday of each month will be kind of our like cleanup Monday. So next Monday, we'll do a new project. And then the first Monday in March, we'll circle back to our 3 projects and we'll do like any finishing work on those projects on that Monday. That way you guys are here with me because I do think that that's a big part of a lot of online tutorials that is missing, right? It's those little details that really do make a big difference in your final product. Good morning, Karen. How are you? Oh, good. That's what we want to do here, right? Just inspiration. And like I was saying earlier, you guys have the products. I know you do. So pull them out and play with them. It's so much fun. And again, This product did not live anywhere, and this project did not live anywhere in my brain before we sat down to play together today. But because my Popsicle 6 challenged me, right, we arrived at this place, and I love it. I love her. So I'm going to set her aside, and then on the first Monday of each month, we'll come back and we'll do like a cleanup Monday where we're going through, because I need to get, I had paper that stuck a little bit here on the side. So I'm going to take my razor blade and take that off. I do need to do a little bit of touch-up paint along here. I need to tack down my corners where they're still pulled up, and then finish with our transfers. It's wet, so if I keep doing it, I'm going to end up pulling my paper. So I'm going to leave those and let them dry, and then we'll put some black wax over the metallic edge, and then she'll be done. And maybe by then I will come up with a word or something to put over her head. I don't know. We'll think. But that's all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This was legitimately so much fun. I hope you guys had a good time. Oh, thank you. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Be sure that you use the quick set resin. You don't want to use like a 12-hour resin in your stamps, okay? Make sure you use the one that sets up in like 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, because then it won't generate enough heat to ruin your stamp, okay? But you guys have a blessed week. I will be back on Sunday. David and I will be back for chatting and crafting, and we'll see what I'm up to then. You guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Good night. Oh, I forgot. You guys remember, whatever you saw me do here today, you can absolutely do yourself. Please make time to play and to create, because where like experimentation goes, creativity follows. So your joy and your growth and your creativity happens when you allow yourself to play and to experiment. You guys have a blessed week. Bye.